You're on.
We're good. All right. I always clap. I don't know why I always clap when we start these things, but I always clap. Welcome to the Tri-State ZNA spring opening meeting. We're actually filming 2 shows today. We have our 63rd or 64th live show we do every Saturday. It's actually happening right now. And at the same time, we're going to do this Tri-State ZNA meeting. If you can give me the camera for a second. This is kind of crazy. Look at all the cars that are here. There must be 40 cars here. They're the most cars. You know, if the question was, Sean, how many cars can you fit on your property? We just answered that question today. There you go.
Thank you.
So, I've got a ladder over here. How are you? Everything's right in there. Yep. So, everyone is packed in here right now for the ZNA, the start of the ZNA. Come on. You know, it's funny, we did so much work here in the last couple of weeks just preparing for this and just getting the store ready for the spring. And we put all these bumpers in, we actually painted them, and for the first time everyone's actually parking in the parking spots. So I'm kind of excited about that. So someone on in here. You know what? I'm going to grab this ladder really quick.
That one marina that's running. Excuse me?
Okay. All right. Is everyone here? Pete, where's Pete? Pete, are we waiting for anyone else to get here?
So many.
Everybody's actually here.
Here's the yellow one of those how you been energy jackets.
So I want to say welcome to everyone to the first meeting of the season for the Tri-State ZNA Koi Club. Pretty excited to have you all here. We have a huge showing here. I'm really happy that everyone is here today. We've hosted shows in the past or meetings in the past. This is definitely the largest group I've ever seen come to one of our meetings. And we've had some pretty big meetings before, but there's got to be, I don't know, 40 people here. So very excited to have everyone here. I just showed you the parking lot. So the parking lot, so one of the big questions is how many cars can we actually fit here? I think we just answered that question. Some of you may be here till tomorrow. As we disperse, everyone's going to have to take a look and see where their cars are. And I think some people that are in the front are going to have to end up leaving a little earlier. Or we'll figure that out. But we do have beds in the house, so you can stay there. It's not a problem. Welcome, everyone. So, for those of you that haven't been here, I didn't have glasses last time you saw me. For those of you that haven't been here, this is our new location. We were in Huntington for 10 years. Wow, I really can't see without these. I'm going to put them back on. We were in Huntington for 10 years, and I'm going to try and not give the same speech I gave last time, because last time you guys, a lot of you already heard that, so I don't want to repeat myself. I started this business out of my backyard, and I started it while I was in a former career. I designed video games for 20 years, and this was always my hobby, passion, was koi. And I never really thought I was going to turn it. I was just going to, I realized that the business was really, the hobby was really expensive. most of you probably have noticed that. It is a bit of an expensive hobby. And I needed to figure out a way to pay for that hobby. So I started coinmarket.com. I went online, looked for a URL, and then in marketing, and because I was involved in video games, I was also very heavily involved in the marketing of the games that I designed. And the company I worked for was a big company, but they didn't have massive amounts of money. Marketing was always an issue. So we were always taught, when you're coming up with a design for a game, when you name that game, to try and have the name of the game describe what the game was. Because if you came up with like some obscure name, then you had to spend marketing dollars to figure out how to sell what it was that you were trying to create. So when I was trying to come up with a name for this, then Koi Market just made a lot of sense. And I say that it makes a lot of sense, but I get a lot of calls. Hi, how are you? Do you sell koi? Well, we wouldn't be much of a koi market if we didn't sell koi, but I do get that question. I get, do you sell rabbits? This morning I got do you sell kitty slides? So we do get a lot of calls for other things. But I started this in my backyard. I was actually, I was working for a company across Minneapolis. And I was working via satellite, and I worked for the first year. Basically trying to find a lineup of games for this company. They were a new publishing company. And the first year they didn't pick up any games. They weren't sure what they wanted to do. And so the second year came around and they said, Sean, we love you. We don't want you to leave. We don't know where we're going to go with this company, but we're going to pay you full salary for the next year in case we need you. So that's when I started this company. So I sat home and I was like, what am I going to do with my time? I'm getting paid to do nothing. And I came up with this. And my wife was like, what are you doing? She couldn't understand what it was that I was doing. And I actually I decided I wanted to sell koi, and I partnered with Blackwater Creek Koi Farms. And many of you have heard this story, but some of you haven't. I partnered with Blackwater Creek Koi Farms. I met with Joe. And if you guys remember, if you guys ever go to Koi America, that was one of the koi shows back in the day. So Koi America was a really big koi show, and I don't know why it ended. I guess it was part of the MAKC or the AKCA, or I don't remember. But I met with Joe at that show, and we shook hands on a deal, and we became the first outlet store for Blackwater Creek. So Blackwater Creek sold wholesale, but they also had a lot of picks of their best fish, and we basically got our education through Blackwater on how to be in the koi business. And we made a lot of mistakes along the way. We learned quite a lot. Unfortunately, like many of us in this room, there were a lot of losses. There were a lot of koi losses as we learned how to take care of fish. And it was a struggle learning how to do it the right way. Really, as Peter would put it, becoming a keeper of water. And that's really how you have to be. You have to become a keeper of water, and that's what we learned how to become. And we got to the point where I started this in my backyard. I built smaller tanks in my backyard. We had 20 or 30 people. I'm just going to be a busload of customers from Flushing parked in front of my house, and a busload of people emptied out into my backyard. And my wife said to me, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, get this shit out of here. And I'm going to curse, because I do curse sometimes when I speak, so I apologize. But that's when I decided to go and find a location, and we found Main Street Nursery. You guys have seen my trucks driving around. We have wrap trucks. I have big koi on the trucks, and I pull up. Well, actually, when I started looking, I went to this place called Scarcella's, which is around the block from Main Street Nursery. And I pull into the parking lot, and I have this giant koi on this van that I bought at an auction for like $1,200. And the guy came out, he's like, I had to see who you were. I saw this giant fish on the side of the truck, and I pitched him my idea, and he said, wow, this is amazing. I'm not even going to charge you rent. I'm going to give you my greenhouse. And all of a sudden, that day, we were in negotiations to move into this new location. His thing was, wow, you're going to bring a lot of customers to my place? This is going to be a great synergy. And for the next 2 months, we were planning on going to this location. I became really friendly with some people that were in that work for the company, and one of them had said to me, listen, before you spend a lot of money building this place out, the town is trying to get rid of this place. They're in Laurel Hollow. It was the only business in all of Laurel Hollow, and the town didn't want a business there. So they said, listen, as a friend, I'm telling you, they're trying to close this place down. You shouldn't do it. So I said, okay, and we decided to move forward, and we went down the road to Main Street Nursery, and the same thing happened. I pulled my truck up. Amy Lamel was running the nursery. She came out and saw my truck, and she's like, wow, this thing is cool. How can I help you? I said, well, I want to do this. I'm looking to create this business. I want to sell pond supplies. I want to sell koi, and I need a location that's X big. And she said, well, before we do that, can you help? There's someone looking for a pump over there. Can you help them? So it was a perfect synergy. We knew that it was the right place for us. We moved in there. We were there for 10 years. And it's funny, and I don't know if I told this story last time, but the reason we had to leave because, all right, so right behind Main Street Nursery is a 3-acre property, and it was formerly a tennis academy, and it was landlocked. So you couldn't get there unless you took no one knows it's there. If you guys have ever seen photos and video of Chernobyl, just picture buildings, tennis courts with giant trees coming out of the tennis courts. So it's been abandoned since the 80s, and the property was just sitting there. Main Street tried to buy it, and they wouldn't sell it to them for some reason. I've always thought that we would eventually have to move, and I happened to be looking for some property on Hudson Turnpike, and I met this real estate agent at a property, and he said, well, where's your business? I said, it's at Main Street Nursery. He said, oh, I'm representing the property for sale behind Main Street Nursery. So in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm going to put this real estate agent together with Main Street. Main Street will buy that property, and I can expand my business. I introduce them. They get along great. They start talking about buying the property. Main Street comes to me and says, hey, would you like to expand your business? My plan was working. So I was all excited. Things are happening. They asked me how much space I want on this new property. Meanwhile, the real estate agent was also on the board for the golf course on the other side of the property. Main Street's bid never went in. They sold the property to the golf course. Also, the golf course could build a new hole on the property. And Main Street had plans for this new location, and they said, we want your space now. We couldn't move in. So my plan to grow actually turned into my demise there. We looked for a property. They gave us a year to get out. And it was rough. We were going to buy a property down the road. It was a 4-acre property. We were getting really close. And I decided to back out at the last minute. I just wasn't feeling it. It was not the right place for us. And I made a right on this corner right here on Deer Park Avenue, and I was going to a customer's house, and they put the sign out for sale that day. Put the sign out, I drove by, and it was fake. This was a bonsai nursery. So it's just kind of crazy that I didn't even know it was here. Chris, who runs the bonsai business, Chris Hayes, if you guys know him, he's running our bonsai portion of the business, and I'll introduce you to him. He had been here before, so he knew it was here, but they did a lot of orchids here. There's the back greenhouse where our quarantine was an orchid house, and then the other two were various tropical plants, and they did bonsai. Kind of more like commercial bonsai, not really like homeowner stuff. It was smaller stuff that they sell to Home Depots and stuff like that. They were retiring, and it just happened to be the perfect location for us. As soon as I walked the property, I was already planning where everything was going to go. I could put this here, I could do that there, I could do the store over here, and it took a long time for us to get here. Just really quickly, the homeowner was selling the property themselves. We came back 3 times. They said we pretty much had a handshake agreement to move forwards. I come back the following Monday, and he signed with a real estate agent. The reason why he signed with a real estate agent is there was another property for sale, and they wanted to do something with the 2 properties, and it just. So the price for the property went up $700,000 overnight. So I then had to wait for the property to come back down to reality. And so that took about 6 months for the property to come back to around the number that I was originally negotiating for. And we got the property. So it was a long road. I mean, my business was literally, I was about to move back into my backyard. We were that close. Main Street, I will say that Main Street and I no longer talk. It got really ugly at the ends. And it got ugly. They started making up stories. They said the town came in and they said they found koi in the sewers and they're forcing you to close your business. And we found out later that they made up all these stories, but they were anything possible that they could come up with to get us out of there. They were pushing. But in the end, we got to build my dream. And if you'll take a walk around and you'll see what's in the works here. And there's a lot of things happening. You're in the big koi house now. We also have our Tosai house. We also have our quarantine house, our Bonsai house. We partnered. We do a lot of pond construction. With everything else going on, we've actually moved away from pond construction. We brought in a company called Sound Shore Ponds, who's now doing all of our pond construction and water features. And we're going to be working with them on all of that in the future. If you notice, the corner of the property, when you drove in, is all torn up. We're doing a massive waterfall there, which will have a koi market sign, and we bought these 6-foot koi, and the koi is going to go right in front of the waterfall. Should last about a week before someone steals it. Someone on the live show today actually mentioned that we should put an air tag, is that what you call it? Mm-hmm. An air tag in the koi so that we can track it down once it gets stolen, because I have a feeling someone's going to walk away with it.
Big cameras.
We are going to be doing cameras everywhere. So as we were building all of these, we ran conduits to every single greenhouse for data so that we can run cameras. We're actually going to be doing live cameras throughout the koi houses so that our customers can go online and they can actually see the koi in the tanks 24/7. One of the other things that we do, if you guys haven't caught our live show, every Saturday we do a live show. That live show started out selling koi, but it's turned into an educational live show. How many people have watched the live show? I'm just curious. I ask you all to if you have time. It's come a long way. So see these two guys right here? They were here. So I put a text out on Facebook and I said, if anyone can help us move from Main Street, we can really use the help. They came, no questions asked, they said, we're here to help you. And they kicked ass. Thank you again for all your help. So you've seen from the beginning what this place looked like and what it is now. Have you taken a tour yet? Yeah. We're going to do a tour of everything. It's pouring really hard, so maybe we'll hold off on the tour a little bit. Where was I? Okay, so air tags in the koi. We're probably going to do something like that. I'm going to give you a tour of everything on the property. So we have, this is our big koi house. Everything is still in flux. We're still building everything. We just got this koi house running in the last few weeks. The tank is sitting on the 13,000-gallon tank here. These are, the tanks over here are dual 6,000-gallon tanks. This is 6.5 feet deep actually here. These are 5 feet deep here, sectioned off. And each section will have different koi pricing. Well, the koi have different prices in each section. It makes it easier for everyone to see what. It's much harder when one tank has 10 different prices in it. It just raises a lot of questions, and it's easier to do it this way. The Tosai house is set up the same way. The quarantine house is in the back. Again, I'm going to give you a tour of everything, and then the store is over there. If you want to do your club stuff now, and we'll wait till it slows down, or we can run from one house to the next. That's up to you. So they're just talking amongst themselves right now about how we're going to proceed. It's pouring out right now. It's coming down. I can hear it. When you can hear it on the greenhouse, you know it's coming down.
Did you get somebody to build your desk?
I did. That was 3 contractors. Now, the first guy, his number was so ridiculously out of line that I didn't even call him back. The second guy came, actually 4 contractors. The second guy came, and he came, we wrote everything down. He give you a call later tonight, call me back, said, you know what, thank you very much, I'm not going to do it. Didn't even have a conversation, that was it. The third guy came, and it was a great meeting. I talked to him later in the day, and then he disappeared. Yeah, we just didn't hear from him again. And then the fourth guy, it was the same contractor that was also doing the wall that was in front of the store. And he built the whole thing in 5 hours. So the only thing left is putting the top on. So we're waiting for that to come in. So I'm pretty happy about that. So all you contractors out there, you know what? Do the right thing. If you're not going to do the job, let the customer know that you don't want to do the job. Don't just not call. Some of you guys just don't call. It's not good. Anyway. Yeah.
What's the top going to be made out of?
Granite. I'm going to give it granite top. You know what? We didn't push all this that far, but I say that when my wife is ready to kill me. She's literally ready to kill me. The amount of money that we spend here is it's crazy. Let's just say it's in the millions. It's crazy. So yeah, I'll be paying myself until I die.
You better make sure you have granite countertops at home.
Yes. James, what do you want to do?
You know what? I'll start. Let me just start. Let me come up over there. Because it's like, I'm waiting for them and it's crazy.
Your title is president, right?
Me? I'm president. I'm editor, even of the magazine.
No,
Yes.
the president of the club?
No,
I'm president of the club.
Peter.
Pete, as the president, why don't you come up and say a couple of words to everyone and introduce everyone? And, yeah, so you come up here and introduce yourself there. So, guys, so we have members here and we also have non-members here. So please, people that came here, I ask customers to come as well and check out the club. And if you want to be a part of it, now would be the time to talk about it. So Pete is just going to introduce himself, tell you a little bit about the club, tell you where he grew up, and what his childhood was like. And,
Minimum 5 words.
all right, so just get Pete.
Yep.
This way. All right.
Hey everybody, my name is Peter. If you don't know me, I'm the president of the ZNA. And this is a Japanese club that started in the 1960s, and we're just one of the US chapters, one of 13 US chapters. If there's any new members want to join today, we'd love to have you on board, and you can speak to any of the 5 board members and they'll tell you the different details. We can sign you up today. With membership comes a free pond evaluation and a koi health evaluation. James is our secretary, and he's going to have a few words about a new magazine that he's coming out with. And then we're going to pass you on to Laura and John.
All right, so let's see if I can do this without falling into the pond. All right. If anybody doesn't know me, I'm James Rothwell. You can call me Jim. I spent my whole life in advertising, doing Super Bowl commercials and so forth. And I was one of the lucky people to still have my job during the pandemic. But I'm sure, like a lot of you, we kind of work from home and spend, I spent about 14, 16 hours on my computer. My eyes are burning, and anytime I wanted to, get away from that, it was almost impossible. I was dying to just I wish Koi USA or a magazine would exist once again, so I could kind of get away from that and not have to try to read something with an email coming up or scrolling up and down or zooming in and out. So it was at that point that I said, okay, I'm gonna do a magazine. So I went off to Japan with a production crew of me and interviewed all the breeders, been interviewing a lot of the dealers, working with some partnerships with a lot of vendors. The magazine is going to be called, and you're kind of getting a quick preview of it, it's going to be called Maru Koi. Now, Maru means circle, a full circle, and basically what we're going to be trying to do is give you a 360-degree view of koi from the hobbyist point of view, from the dealer point of view, from the breeder's point of view, treatments, different ponds, filtrations. We really want to bring all-encompassing because what works for one doesn't work for everyone else. So there'll be, quite a lot of content in the magazine. You'll have hobbyists. We're doing a thing called the Filter House, where we're going to show you a beautiful pond, but it might be really nice, but you want to know what's underneath the hood, like when you're looking at a car. So you'll see what kind of filtration and how that pond runs, because we feel like that's really important. There'll be different things that we find that's interesting to the community. Like we'll have an article in here that'll be all about how are you going to save power when you're running your pond. We'll talk about our Tri-State show. We've got high energy prices, how to reduce that. So there'll be quite a lot of content that's going to be on here. But there'll be 4 magazines that'll be quarterly coming out. We'll also have a website because obviously, as much as I love holding a magazine in my hand, some people still want to go to a site where we'll be constantly having content on there, daily content. We're still working out our prices on what we're going to be doing, but it looks like it might be something like $10 a month. We're going to be partnering with certain vendors, whether it might be Sean or Koi Kennel or others. And what we'd like to do is try to get big discounts on that site and actually link it. So if you're on our site and you're a member and Sean's selling something and you click on it, we'll go right to Sean's site and you'll be able to order whatever it is, and basically the membership will pay for itself.
Is it just digital or is it print and digital?
It's going to be print and digital. So we will have a physical magazine, we will have a website, we will have a YouTube channel, we will have everything. And I know there's for those who really scour the internet or YouTube like I do, it's very much sort of like Koi Talk, if anybody's seen or heard of that. We're doing that, but we want to bring the content a lot further from there. So anyway, we're really excited. We've got a lot of people. I'm cashing in all my chips from production companies. We've got some great editors in the city. Again, these are like people who've shot in Super Bowl commercials, and we're really going to have some really great content. So I'm looking forward to sharing that. We were going to launch at NorCal, but I think it might still be maybe South Carolina Raleigh show, most likely. And we just want to make sure all the bugs are out of the website and so forth. And when we get a chance, an email will go out, and I hope you all join. It'll be really exciting. And again, it's a great way to escape the computer, but if you want, there'll be online content as well. So
you have, everyone, there's a lot of people here. Hi guys, we just came in. There's a lot of people here. Maybe a sign-up sheet so that they can sign up like an email, so you can email them when it's ready to launch.
absolutely. Yeah, matter of fact, I'm going to give another piece of paper out. You guys already signed the ZNA. I'm trying not to mix pleasure and work together, but I'm going to send out another piece of paper so you can put your email down if you're interested, and we'll be sending everything out. And there'll be more stuff that we'll have on Facebook. We've got video content coming out very quickly as well. We're editing it all as we speak.
So guys, it's really important what James is doing. We all love this hobby, and what he's doing, he's not just passionate about the hobby, he's trying to continue to grow the hobby. And to grow the hobby is to educate. So learn more about what the hobby is, how to take care of fish, how to properly build a pond, how to filter your pond, how to feed your fish. All these things help. And it helps us because we can help others. So the more we know, the more we can help others to grow the hobby. Because how amazing is it that we have this whole room of people here. All of us love this hobby. know, none of us would know each other if it weren't for this hobby. So, thank you for doing this.
And you know, the breeders in Japan are very, very exciting. Right? You know, we've met with all of them, and you know, they're like looking for a place to feature their new koi that are coming out, and they want to prove that certain breeds can actually grow over 32 inches where they didn't in the past. So they're very, very excited about that as well, and look forward to seeing you all and hopefully signing you all up. So Sean, thank you for giving me the time, and the same thing with our ZNA. Thank you.
All right, so guys, we're going to do the score now. Because there's so many people, I'm not going to take you back this way.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
I'm going to take you through the front way. And so we're just going to cross over this way here.
All right. So guys, so really quickly, you guys stay here? All right. Hey guys. Wow, I feel good. How much better? Glasses, and I didn't. You have glasses. You have glasses. I didn't realize how bad my eyes are until I actually put glasses on. You didn't? And I couldn't see. My TV is probably about 20 feet. Any of the text that was on screen when I knew that I had to get glasses. But I can see all of you now. So I'm going to take you through. Hey guys, I'm going to try and do this quickly. It's rain. When you can hear the rain on the greenhouse, you know it's coming down pretty good. I just want. So, really quickly, so we are doing a whole bonsai section. The area you're walking through here will be our display for our bonsai. I'm going to introduce you to Chris Hayes in the back. Bob Bongiorno from Suburban. I'll do a quick moment of silence for Bob. Bob was an innovator in the space. He started, I think, in the 50s.
The green Toyota, green Toyota.
Okay.
Did anyone come in
Who has a gray Toyota?
after a white Highlander?
A gray Toyota? So you need a Highlander room? What is the cost? All right, so what I was saying, so Bob Bongiorno passed away 2 years ago, and he had a very large property, a 6-acre property. We actually looked at that property. Later in the space, he did a lot of ponds on Long Island. We have a very large maintenance company, and we come across these ponds all the time. We handle hundreds of customers, and a lot of them are former Bob customers. So he did a lot of pond projects on Long Island. All the wood you see here that was built, that we used to build this, was all wood that was at Bob's property. So we're really happy we're able to reuse. They're only 5 minutes away from here. So we're able to repurpose all that wood, and all the shelving in my store was also wood that I got from Suburban. A moment of silence for Bob. And he was out years ago for Bob. I'm not sure how long you're doing along the silence. Thank you, everyone. So we're going to go from here, just really quickly, the grass area will be all koi ponds, so you'll be able to go and see different styles of ponds that we or the company we're working with will build, as well as filtration systems. That's all going to happen. It wasn't a priority for us to get that done. The priority was getting this stuff done in here. Again, these are our. This is our big koi house. I had the baki showers. They're 10-foot baki showers. I have them custom made overseas. And if anyone is interested in them, we do sell. I don't sell the 10-foot size, but I do have other sizes available. We're going to cross over into the store area, so let's move quickly.
Wow.
This is pretty, Sean.
Yeah, it came out cool.
Very pretty.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
This is cool.
This is insane.
We're just waiting for everyone to come in here. You more taking smoke breaks. Cool. All right. So here was another hoop house, and it was actually the hoop house was like almost like sideways. It was. I knew right away that it was something that had to come down, and I knew that that was going to be our toe-side house. So the hoop house was probably, and I wanted to create a kind of like a scene as that you're coming here. This is the desk area was actually small, much smaller when we originally planned it for the future. We're seeing that hopefully, things are going to get very busy and we'll have more than one person behind the counter. So this is what we ended up with. All this wood, again, this wood is probably $300 or $400 a piece. This was all under piles of rubble on suburban property, and it was Chris Hayes. You guys, I told you, Chris Hayes is a jack of all trades. He welded all these together here. He welded all, and a whole bunch of tables. So we have lower tables here, and the reason why I'm explaining this is the idea here is to be a little bit more like an Apple store, boxes on a shelf. So we're going to have a lot of product that's kind of as open for you to see versus you buy it and bring it home. To look into the future of how retail is set up. So the idea here is that the products, especially these lower tier, if I can plug them in, I will, but there's not really a purpose to plug it all in. But the idea is going down the side there, we'll have a lot of the products on these lower tables here that's out on display. We're also, and Chris called me up. Chris is always the first to know everything. And he said 80 fish tanks, knowing that we're aquarium business. So this section here is going to be over here, and they've literally been sitting in Chris's warehouse for 3 years, waiting for one day for us to do that. I'm not in this area yet. We do still have to create goldfish and tanks, but we will also maybe have some wall there, and we're also going to have tropical bond here on display in that area there. And a lot has happened in this last week, so we just did all the stone veneer that's on the front of the building. You noticed that coming in. We just did that this week. This all went in. And this desk was a nightmare. I can build lots of things, but I'm not a finisher when it comes to framing. It's not something I have a skill set in. And I went through 4 contractors to get some. One guy came in $16,000 to do this desk. Because he walked in here, he's like, oh, they're spending lots of money. I'm going to charge them a portion. Fourth guy who did the veneer on the wall came in, he did this in 5 hours. And it came out amazing. We had 4 guys, and I came in, and by the time I came back, the thing was almost done. So I'm very happy with the progress here. You guys were here last, has changed since you were here last. We did our meeting, we did a winterization change. Was the building here when you guys were here last?
Yeah, the building, but not the...
This remains a greenhouse. This is what we want. This is still considered a greenhouse. I'm going to take you through I took me so long to get these 6-foot koi that I forgot that I even got them. I forgot that I ordered them. Was brought in 2 containers of these koi statues, and it was an absolute nightmare for him to bring them in. He had a lot of problems with the manufacturer, and they'll never buy from them again. They only end up getting half the shipments, and the other half sat in a container because they didn't pay the bill for the container that was sitting in the container yard, whatever you call it. So they were actually going to auction off the container, and he finally said, more money to bring these koi statues in, and he never planned. In 3 weeks ago, I brought in a whole bunch of, if you saw the koi statue that was up on the Baki showers in there, we had like 40 of them. We did our live show. I was in Florida, my father was not feeling well, so I flew up to Florida, and Michael, one of my guys, was running the show, and it was absolutely,
Amazing how fast
everyone was literally these statues. I mean, they were. I said it first. That's mine, and everyone. It was absolute mayhem. And we sold every single statue in an hour and a half. It was crazy. So I have 4 of those statues left. If anyone's interested, that we did all the 6-foot statues. That I originally got those just. So the show is going to go in front of the big waterfall in the corner of the property. So if you guys aren't aware, we're on the corner of the 2 busiest roads on all of Long Island, right there. And Deer Park Avenue gets 40,000 cars a day in each direction. And then the North Service Road gets 9,000 cars. So 9,000 cars are our gate right here. I couldn't ask for a better location than this location. It works. Lots of cars. You can see our song here. This is great. So it worked out really nicely for us. Any questions?
When's this going to be done?
That's a really good question. When's it going to be done? So September. So we're definitely way behind. The building, the work that was done here, all the block work, the building, the customers. So he was doing me a favor, and he really, I say I spent a fortune. My wife is barely talking to me. I will do this for the rest of my life. But it is my dream, and I'm excited that you guys are all here, because you're the first people that we have. We're hoping to open in the next 2 weeks, but you guys are really the first to be here. So it's really exciting to have you all here. Seeing all these cars here, like, I had the biggest smile. Seeing all those, Tom and I were just like, holy cow, all these cars just pulling in all at the same time. Going down the North Service Road. So for me, you guys are like, oh, this sucks. I'm standing in line here. There's no parking, but for me, I was pretty excited. I walk this way, and you can see the koi statues along the way. They don't eat a lot. Yeah, of course. This is a good spot. Yeah. I have some things I can put on the floor to hold the doors open.
Does that work? Oh, nice.
Alright, so it's a little bit of a smell because right now it's winter and there's no circulation. But this is our Bonsai house. The right side doesn't have Bonsai, the left side does. But right here is this section to be a breezeway so you can actually walk through. You don't have to go on this one to come in here. So we'll just walk through here quickly. Exactly what it is and the content and all that.
Hi, live stream number 2. That's for live streaming number 1.
Okay. Waiting for those guys to come in.
Front of you really quick.
They're watching the live show. So they're filming the live show over here, and he's watching it right there. And we're filming the other live show at the same time. All right, so this is our Tosai house. So we still have a lot of fish in our quarantine house right now. They're coming out in the next 2 weeks. We just did our gill snips that we sent to a lab for KHP testing. And once that testing is done, and I know everything will be fine, but once that testing is done, them fish will start to come in here. The fish that are in these tanks will actually go over to the big boy house, and this will just be our Tosai house. Sorry. We actually just brought in literally 115 boxes of koi that are in the Tosai house right now. So we probably brought in, I don't know, 300 boxes of fish in the last year. So we bring in a lot of fish now. It's a big part of our business. Our live show is a huge part of our business. So they're filming the live show right over here at the same time as we're doing this show. So you can see them holding the camera. They're actually talking with other customers that are on camera right now on the live show, selling them fish. And that's how we do our live show. We also do what we call it a personal shopper. If you guys are interested in this, mostly for people that are out of state, but our personal shopper allows us to sell, basically opens up our entire store to the rest of the country. So you can call us up, well, go online, you click on the calendar, set up a time, set up a date. We then meet you virtually through FaceTime, and we show you everything that we have to offer online, and you can see the whole store one-on-one. Pretty amazing. My son Zach. So, you guys remember? You guys haven't seen each other in forever. It's been many years. I know.
What's up, honey?
How you doing? Likewise.
Yeah, what about you? Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You keep getting stepped on. Sorry.
Are you taking your car out? You gotta tell me what cars they are.
It's Silver Mercedes and new truck and a pizza inside.
Oh, the Pete, can you?
I told her to put it inside.
Okay. Silver Mercedes, you said?
Yeah, and whoever's blocking the driver.
Someone's...
Two people.
There's two cars. The silver Mercedes.
Blue CRV while we're at it. I have to get out of here too.
Okay. All right, he's just got to move his car.
Car Tetris.
A blue truck and a silver Mercedes. Anyone have a silver Mercedes? Silver. Is a truck a silver Mercedes truck?
Yeah.
A silver Mercedes truck. Right in here. Did you get your tip already? Did she say no?
Yeah, she said no.
Okay, here's 20 bucks.
So,
Alright, we're going to go to the Bonsai house next. Let me just,
oh, they're normally all swarm. Excuse me, sorry. Excuse me. Sorry, no, you're fine, thank you. Excuse me. Gotta get through, excuse me. You're good. Ooh.
Gotcha. And those are like
silver Mercedes truck? Yeah. You just need to remove it. Thanks, buddy. All right. So we're gonna head on over to the bonsai area. Guys, listen. With the bonsai house, it's spread out, so there's room, but just be careful, like, not to lean up against something because it's probably going to be a tree. So you don't want to lean up and break a branch. So just be really careful. Otherwise, Chris will kill you.
Turn the water off.
Okay. All right, bonsai area is closed. So guys, as you go in, just remember, don't lean up against anything because there's likely a tree behind you. So just be really careful when you go in.
Beautiful so far.
Guys, just be careful not to lean up against anything.
I was going to say, where's the other guy? Nice to see you, man. Thank you. We're trying. We tried. See, it's a good thing you guys pulled all your stuff aside.
He's gonna take a crab apple too.
It's a nice. You're gonna like, so it's gonna flower. And you're gonna call me and tell me how much color when it flowers. It's really when it flowers. So yeah, hold on. I really do have to get it to. If I can get it to push this year a lot, then we'll figure it out because it's not. Again, I want to give it time. Let's go, man. I see it, buddy. Still haven't worked it out yet. I'm still trying to figure out what we're doing with it. When it's done. How you doing, man? Okay.
Excuse me?
Hey guys,
We had a person asking here what our location is.
539 Deer Park Avenue, Dix Hills, New York, 11746. We're on the corner of Deer Park Avenue and the North Service Road. The entrance is on the North Service Road. Come on over. Over there. Everyone done this thing, Chris? Hold on.
Did you make that?
I made that. We're still debating. I'm still debating what's gonna like go into it and stuff. We're working on
There's
it.
something that hangs, Chris.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a trailing. That's my like Pandora from Avatar that I'm trying to work on.
They plug into one.
There's been a few that have tried to do that over the years and never.
Guess you're going back this way.
So I want to.
Thank you. You want this? I'm a talker, so I got no problem talking about it. You like to talk.
That one is even better in form.
Quite the show here.
Just a few more people, Chris.
So you're gonna pan it on Chris now.
Okay.
Come on in, guys.
What are we discussing? What are we doing?
You're gonna talk about LIB.
Life, in general, and liberty in the pursuit of happiness.
All right. There's a few more, but we're gonna start. So, guys, welcome to Long Island Bonsai Supply. This is Chris Hayes. If you guys don't know Chris, this is a business that Chris and I formed together, and pretty excited about it. And Chris is going to talk a little bit more about LIB, and don't get hit by a shovel.
Is that right back there?
So he's going to talk a little bit about what's happening here, what you're seeing here, why we're in this greenhouse, why everything's in here right now. Talk about a little bit about the future of what we have plans. Some of the meetings we're going to do, classes and things like
Nice
that.
if you told me this prior, and I would have had a
I
speech
did tell you.
prepared.
He wasn't paying attention.
I would have had a speech prepared or something.
You're better when you're on the fly. All right.
All right, hi everybody. So Sean gave the introduction. So the bonsai aspect of the business is Long Island Bonsai Supply. We're one of the few guys left around on the island that actually sells bonsai in finished form, pre-bonsai, supplies. Obviously, it says it in the name. We have pots, soils, all that stuff, and advice. We'll also offer services, repotting services, consulting services. I did some work to a members retreat today from the Koi Club that needed some touch-up that I took care of that for them. We have no problem doing stuff like that. I'm trying to carry a good range of quality trees. That doesn't necessarily mean expensive trees. I just want to carry stuff that's not mall bonsai, which I absolutely hate. Mall bonsai were never really, they basically take them out of a pot, throw them into a ceramic pot and call it a bonsai. That's not how this hobby works. There's things that have to be done, wiring, care to the roots. You're doing a lot of things to the tree that those mall places don't do, and they charge you a premium. So we're going to offer all ranges of trees, small to large. A friend of mine came in today, and the trees on this bench they bought today. It's a beautiful Katsura maple that's just leafing out. Someone purchased this today. Cute little Chinese elm. Nice little twist to it, wired up. This is an osmanthus, another cute little tree. That's an osmanthus. We're going to have all shapes and sizes of trees. Some of the stuff that everyone gets mad at me, I hate this when I go into a place and stuff says not for sale, but unfortunately some of the stuff here is my personal collection, so it's not for sale, and it was just worked on. If everyone noticed on that side, there is a big Japanese yew. That tree is at the least 100 years old, and it was styled recently. The wood carving was done by a gentleman who's a friend of mine named Will Badley. Spent 2 days on that tree, carved it up. He did it last year. He was here the other day, did a little touch up on it. So that tree really tells a story. If you look at it, it's got age, it's got like just presence to it, and that's the kind of trees that I love. Trying to think what else?
Classes.
I'm sorry. Anybody drive a gray CRV?
Yes.
If somebody needs to get out, if you can. He's outside waiting. Thank you.
So we'll do I can carve trees. I'm not as good as Will Badley, but I do carving. Like I said, I carved up some stuff for someone today. We offer full line of everything you would need for bonsai. I only carry stuff, or me and Sean will only carry stuff that I stand behind. I won't carry junk just because if someone might buy it. If it's not anything I'm going to use, it's not going to be here. So I'm trying to keep, I want to keep the integrity of the shop as high as I can. Anyone have any questions or anything?
So how many of you have bonsai at home? Let me see a show of hands.
Just let me know.
Yeah,
when you
1,
want.
2, 3,
anything
4.
You want to get rid of that juniper that I repotted for you, I'll take that back.
So, like the koi hobby, we want to grow this hobby. They really go hand in hand with each other. And having bonsai, we had this conversation before about the proper way to pronounce it. Someone actually said to me in the video last time, you're not pronouncing it correctly. And I had said, well, it's funny because Chris and I just had a conversation about it. And Chris had said, you had said that it's said both ways.
Depends on who you ask.
Right.
I've talked to Japanese experts masters that say bonsai.
If you
And
go
some people
online,
say bonsai. It depends on who you're talking to.
they have the little button you press and it phonetically sounds it out.
And what's it say?
It says bonsai. Yeah, so I'm going to go with bonsai. I think Chris goes with bonsai.
I go with bonsai.
That's what we're going to go
If
with.
you want to call it the American way to say it, then whatever.
Whatever.
Everyone knows when you say bonsai what it is. They know they think Mr. Miyagi, they think Karate Kid, and the little tree. Everyone I talk to, when I say I'm into bonsai, like, oh, the Mr. Miyagi tree. I'm like, sure. Like, yeah, but it's a lot more than that. But yeah, I'm really passionate about. Like, everyone, a lot of you know me from the Koi Club. I'm still into the koi thing, but the bonsai far surpassed my whole koi stuff. I still have my fish. I love them. I love looking at the fish. I could fit a lot more bonsai in my backyard than I could fit koi in my pond. So the bonsai thing kind of got a little crazy. And a lot of the trees here. This is the funny. I have a very small backyard. All the trees that were in here at one point were all in my backyard, plus my permanent collection, we'll call it, which is still another 150 trees that's at my house. So my wife at one point was like, okay, this is a bit much. It looks like a nursery, a garden center here, so fix it. So luckily, my best friend here, we worked out this deal where we get this space, we do this together. It's always kind of been a dream of ours to work together, so now we get to do that. He gets to see me on the weekends because that's pretty much when I'm here. And my wife gets most of the trees out of my yard. So now she gets her yard back. I keep the really nice stuff in the yard, and I have somewhere to go and play with my stuff and experiment and do like really cool things. So it's a really great thing.
It's definitely a good thing. You know, and guys, anytime you can turn your hobby into, you know, a business, you know, and continue to grow your hobby further, you know, it's I would say that most times it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to do that. I was able to do that, and Chris is doing that now here, and we want to take that a step further. We will be doing classes.
Yes, there will be classes. There's going to be a repotting class coming up beginning of next month. It'll be a basic class. We're just going to open it up for people to come. It's not really going to be like a charge thing. It'll be so you can get to know me, see if you like what we're doing, and then other classes after that. I will teach some classes. I am not a bonsai master like Sean sometimes likes to put that out there. I would never call myself a bonsai master. I am a bonsai hobbyist that seems to be pretty good at it. But I have friends that are bonsai masters. They will come in and teach some of the more advanced classes. Like I'll have Will here. We'll do some carving. My friend Bob Naylor will do some styling classes. Vin Russo, other local artists that I'm friends with. If you can get Bjorn to travel for, you know,
Just started traveling again.
Well, you're gonna have Morrow here.
Tomorrow, Stenberger will be here. So I'll get some high-end names. Will be here, and we'll post all that stuff on the website. I want bonsai to be for everybody. When I started in this hobby, it was a very bonsai, very hard, you know, very expensive, very this, very that. It's really not. It's what you make it.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. And this is my other thing too. Any tree can be a bonsai, but not every tree should be a bonsai. So just because you can make it into a bonsai doesn't mean you should. I want to teach people the stuff that you should make into bonsai and spend your time on, and the stuff that you should just plant in your garden. There's like a difference. You don't want to spend. These trees they have hundreds of hours into some of these trees, and years. So if it's never going to get to the point where you want it to be, you really shouldn't waste that time. And again, it also depends on what you want out of it. So sometimes you like to play around with stuff, and that's fun. But I want to appeal to everyone. That's my goal. And I'm always open for questions. Anyone has any questions, they can bring stuff by. You can text me. We'll have a way to reach me on the website. You can call me. If you're special enough, I'll give you my cell phone so that you can call me on the cell phone. Yeah, you know, I just want to be available to everyone and make the hobby enjoyable for everyone.
And at a minimum, it was a place for him to put his trees.
Yes, and at a minimum, it keeps me married. So my wife is very happy now. She's probably watching. Hi. So it's going good, hon. Oh, and I'm supposed to, I forgot my son, I'm supposed to say thanks to, he put a little plaque on the front of this table that says,
There you
so
go.
if he is watching, I did it this time, Colin. My son is
Good job, Colin.
very proud of that. So there you go, buddy.
So we're working on the website for the bonsai. We actually wanted to start posting bonsai because we'll be shipping bonsai as well. But the bonsai actually just started.
They just started to
They just
sprout
started.
and stuff. So
I mean,
it's-
this tree last week didn't have anything on it.
nothing on it.
Had nothing on it. If you guys, if just again, be careful walking around here. But I know on this side, you know, who is here with you?
Will Badley.
Badley.
Badly.
Will Badley was here with Chris, and they were actually carving a lot of these trees. Chris, can you take a walk through and show everyone?
I can, Sean Rose.
You can see where this one was just started, and then he has a couple that are finished.
This was started, but we didn't. It's too wet. The wood is too wet. It
Can you
has
tell
to-
everyone what kind of trees they are?
This is it's not a bald cypress. It's a
You are not a bonsai master.
yeah. Because you call me when like it's a dawn redwood. That's a dawn redwood. That's a dawn redwood. That's a bald cypress. That one. They almost look identical. The only way you can tell is how the leaves are on the branches. One is parallel and one is alternating. But he carved up this. We had some rock in the trees, so that got carved. This is my crowning achievement. This yew over here with this super old deadwood carved. A lot of stuff like that. We add a little detail to the tree. It makes the tree, tells more of a story than just a basic tree like this. You know, did lightning hit it at some point? Who knows? Like something cool happened. No, that was the rot. Yeah, so that'll bleach out eventually, but that was the rotted area. So there was a knuckle there that water was getting into, so we cleaned it out. But you know, there's lots of fun stuff. You know, we'll look around, see
You
if
show them a
questions.
finished carved piece, and then you show
That's
over
a
on
finished carved piece.
the one over on the left that you showed me yesterday. Down
You have
about
to be more
midway.
specific. There's a lot of trees.
Go straight that way, and on the left you show me that one. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Oh,
keep
you
going.
want you talking about the crab?
Yeah. You guys gotta see the detail that
So that's like a crab apple that's been carved up to look really old. It just had a head it was called like a pigeon's breast, and he carved it out, made it some detail. Now it looks like something from Sleepy Hollow.
That looks awesome.
So that's a pretty cool tree.
Chris, can you bring that tree this way?
Can.
Yeah, Chris, pass it out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The detail that's carved in. That's all man-made. None of that. This was just flat wood. Nothing, just ripped. And then he carved it all in. Even these little, those are all carved. Didn't exist. Yeah, Dremel, chisels, a little bit of everything. So you can see the detail in that.
Current state.
About $800. Just because a lot of the value is what Will did to it. It has his name associated with it now. Normally, I think the crab apples are $3 and change, but because he's taken it to the new level, once this flushes out, it'll be a much nicer tree. Give or take. I haven't really thought about exact pricing yet. It might be a little cheaper than that, actually. But, you know. But Sean ran away now. There he is.
Right here. I was letting you finish.
What else, Rosie?
You want to talk about the pots?
No, on the next, in front of this one.
This is pretty cool.
What do you want to tell you about the pots? What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
We have a lot of pots over there, and there's some pots that are just pots, and then there are special pots. Like, what's so special about certain pots?
None of these are the special pots.
All right.
The special pots will be on display inside the store because they're very valuable. These are all, some of these are Japanese, tokonoma, some of them are Chinese. These are good pots. I won't carry junk pots because I hate garbage pots. So these are all pretty good pots. Inside the store, I will carry custom-made pots by people like Sarah Rayner, a lot of the pot makers that I like, Roy Minarari. There's so many, a lot of Japanese like Amafusa and stuff like that. I have a giant pot collection, more pots than I could ever put a tree in. So my loss is someone else's gain. I'm gonna have a lot of good pots for sale. Some of the pots up here are okay pots. There's a Robbie Robertson pot over there with the little watering can in it. That's a higher end pot. So we're going to have a whole display of good pots for your valuable trees. You want to put those in a better pot. It's like wearing a nice pair of shoes. Like a good pair of leather shoes costs more than a cheap pair of leather shoes, and you look better.
There are people that just collect pots and not bonsai, or
Yeah. There's actually a whole thing about that. There's it's
just
that's
bonsai
a whole
pots.
other thing. Just bonsai pots. Some pots are worth thousands of dollars, and some are $20. So it depends. You can get a really nice custom-made pot. Usually start at about $100 and up. So depends.
And there are different pots for different style of tree.
It's a whole other. It's not so simple. You can't pigeonhole. There's types. So conifers you generally put in unglazed pots. Flowering trees you put in deeper pots because of the root structure and the color of the pot is a complement to what the leaves or the flowers would be. So a maple that's going to turn red in the fall, you would want to put it in a blue pot because the blue and red complement each other. Same thing, orange flower, green pot. It's like the color chart wheel when you're back in school that you would, it just makes you a better subject matter. Also, depending on what the tree is, do you want to pay attention to the tree or the pot? A more understated pot draws more attention to the tree. If the tree is not as nice of a tree and you want to beautify the tree, you put it in a pot that has something else going on for it to accentuate the tree.
Gotcha.
That makes sense. These are all topics that I could literally talk about for 2-3 hours because there's so much more. So this is just a little snippet of what the whole deal is, but you can go on for a long time. Like, not every tree can go in an incredibly bright pot like this, but a pink azalea would look killer in this. When the azalea flower is pink and you have the complement of the yellow pot, now you have a package there that's really stunning.
Or some Easter eggs.
You could do that. That's a decent pot. So, yeah. Some people also collect tools. I collect bonsai tools, antique bonsai tools. So that's another thing you can get into.
Yeah. So, guys, we're going to be doing classes, as Chris mentioned. We're going to be we have some ideas, like a bonsai and beer nights.
Bagels and bonsai, bonsai and beer, one or the other.
Came up with bagels and bonsai, maybe on a Sunday morning kind of thing. You can go to church and then come here and do bagels and bonsai. We want to have fun with it. That's the whole idea here, is to really enjoy, the art of bonsai and just kind of make this become part of your life. And that's really what it is. It becomes part of your life.
100%.
Yeah. So it's just like having a pond. I mean, you're thinking about your fish. You're thinking about your bonsai. When Chris goes out and he's sitting with his wife at dinner, he's really thinking about his bonsai.
It's true. I will also say.
I'm just kidding.
So we're all big fish guys here, but I will say, when you buy a bonsai, the bonsai, if you take care of it, will never be worth less than you originally paid for it. Unlike some of these koi we buy, we know some things fail and they're worth. The bonsai is the absolute opposite. The older the tree, the more you take care of it, the value goes up. So, just saying.
Cool. Chris, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, guys. If you're interested in anything that Chris has
It's good to be seen.
I
I'm
will
happy. This is like a fun
get you guys information
I'm passionate.
so you can reach out to them. We're excited about this, and we want you guys to be excited too. And we
This is
want you
great.
to ask
Now I'm gonna keep
questions,
the best stuff.
and we will be updating you on what the future holds. All right, we're going to head on over to the quarantine, and then that's it for the tour. Just so we can have
I can
lunch.
still play with it, and if I sell it, well, that's cool.
Cool.
I'll just buy another one and play with it again. So I get to keep this stuff and
Hey guys, we're going to head on into the quarantine, and then we're done with the tour. Is that cool? All right, we're going to go into the quarantine and we're done. All right, so it's pretty much stopped raining, so that's good. This is actually our aquatic plant area here. So water lilies, lotus, floating plants, marginal plants, everything will be in this area here by Mother's Day. So we have a lot planned for this area here.
you guys remember Chris's backyard, this bathtub this is in his backyard. This is actually a water feature. All right, it's very, very warm in here because we're just finishing our quarantine process. We just did our KHV testing, we did our gill steps, so it is still pretty warm in here. So you're not going to be able to stand here too long. But come on in. It's loud in here. These are all full. Everything from here over to there is all full fit. In our other team. These are all, everything here, and the first tank there is all in quarantine. All in here. As you guys can hear over there, it's kind of loud here. So, we just brought in 115 boxes of fish. That was our largest shipment we had ever brought in. But we brought in another couple of hundred fish at other times this year. Everything is in, everything on this side, guys, everything on this side here, these are all the new fish. And the first tank right here are new fish. Everything over here, all these fish are fish that are all sold. They're sold in our live show. So everything all over here are fish that people watched our show and they bought them through the show. And their ponds aren't open yet, so they'll get shipped in the next few months. If you happen to see something in here, let me know. But I just wanted you guys to see the facility. We do go through a very strict quarantine process with our fish. They'll be in here for about 5 weeks before they go out into the other tanks. We have a lot of different breeders in here, but certainly go and take a look. And if you guys are hungry, we have pizza back in the store area. I'll bring the plates and everything over there, and everything over here is sold. This side is not. Actually, some fish are sold, but I haven't moved them out of the tanks yet because they're still in quarantine. All right. If you guys want to hang out in here, please do. There's a lot of fish. There's 2 shell in there. These are all from Tanaka. We have Dosake, and then we have a new koi type. We're trying to find a If you guys have any questions about fish, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to go and have some lunch. Guys, it started pouring again, so go into the Bonsai house and then walk over. I was gonna wait till all you guys are out of here. These guys in here are between $700 and $800. How much was the toy? So between $700 and $800. One of them is definitely sold. One with a black head is sold.
And then the third,
All the same price. Everything in here is the same price. Everything. We'll go over it. We'll open the panel. No, I'll put you on there. Can you remember them later? Yeah, he has my phone, but before I leave, when we end the show, I'll write it down. I literally have like 250 to open.
While I was talking to him, the flyer okay, send me down your unit because you have a track, and I'll pick up the thing. I took it a week late because I didn't want to stress him out, you know, and he told me that he received it, and he can't ship it to me until Tuesday. And I also have, you know, the details of the Tuesday. The piece that goes from the switch, that has a leak. I was wondering if you could come out to it.
Yeah, we'll start the DC certificate.
Exactly what we're ready at. So I have to get it done.
We'll take a look at it. That's one of the problems that I have. All right, did you get all these six?
Yep.
All right, we're going to head over and ask them one. Oh yeah, so I actually brought in a lot of these fish for our wholesale. So this tank here is pretty much all wholesale. So for the retail price on this is in like the 70s and for high quality cinema at this size. There are a couple of And we can board fish too, so if you see fish you like, they go into these tanks for boarding. All these fish are going to be held for the next 2 months until all our ponds are open.
You have to watch Elijah.
Please. All right, let's go eat. Yeah. About that, I mean, it doesn't seem to be getting warmer very quickly.
No, not yet.
So much? 2 months before they come this fall?
No, because all those fish over there have to be shipped around the country and the customs ponds aren't open yet.
Right,
So I would say over the next 2 months they'll be shipped out to customers. These guys here will be available, will be in these tanks in the next 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's I think we can go
We'll go over there. I'll meet you over there. I'm just going to grab some plates for everyone.
Okay. Let's go look at more fish.
Yeah, when the water's cold, it's down the street. How about you?
With the lots.
Can you freeze that or you just cut it?
Oh, it was too far off, guys. We're all on the lower branch. I only see my name is that we were like the first bunch to get the table was that short.
Where's Peter? All right, Peter's out in your meeting. You guys, please eat. There's plates there. I don't know, should we eat? You have gloves up? All right, so why don't you want to record this or? All right, so we're going to end the show. Thank you guys very much. I know we were supposed to do the spring opening stuff, but maybe we'll post it. All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. How many people are on?
It's been fluctuating from like 15 to like 10 people.
Okay, I hope you guys enjoy it later. All right.